Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be learning how to make this simple milkmaid crop top that I'm wearing. So in my previous video, we drafted out the pattern on how to make this simple top. So you should definitely see that video first before you watch this one. I'll be leaving the link in the description box. So it's a very simple tutorial and very beginners friendly. So guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, share with your loved ones, and subscribe to my channel. So let's jump right into the video. So I've gone ahead to use my patterns to cut out my fabric, and this is what we have. So for the upper part, I have two pieces of it, just like I said earlier. And this is the back panel, the lower part. I went ahead to cut out lining pieces for the lower part and the back panel. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys now is how to join these pieces of fabrics together. So we'll be starting with the back panels and the lower parts. So the first thing to do is to turn it over with our lining pieces. So I'll place it this way and then stitch it all the way around, leaving the armhole point opened for turning over. I'll repeat the same thing for the other side of the back panel. So when I'm done with that, I'll go over to the lower parts as well of the front panel and stitch it on one side. So I'll show you guys the next thing to do. So after turning over the back panels with my lining piece, this is what I have. So this is the dart I also took out and I stopped on the bust point. So for the lower part of the front panel, I went ahead to sew the lining right side facing each other. So I took in the dart as well. So I didn't bother to close it up at the upper part because I'll be using it to turn over when attaching the upper parts to it. So right now, set these pieces aside while we work on the upper part of the front panel. So moving over to the upper part of the front panel, I'll go ahead and separate the two pieces of fabric this way. So while cutting out my fabric, I give allowance at the top for my casing so that I can pass my fabric straps through it. So the next thing you want to do now is to join the two pieces of fabric together. So I'm going to go ahead and place them this way, right sides facing each other. So I'm going to take out 1 inch at the top for the casing. Then I'm also going to take out another 1 inch because I want a little bit of opening in front. Then from this 1 inch point, I'm going to stitch it down using half an inch. Like I'm going to join the two pieces of fabric together from that point using half an inch. So after joining the fabric together, this is what I have. So this is the opening at the top, like I explained earlier. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and stitch down these points this way so that I won't be having any bulge in front. I'll stitch it down on that side and stitch it on the other side. So when I'm done doing that, I'll go ahead now and fold in the upper part twice. I'll fold half an inch first and half an inch again, and then I will sew it all the way down to form my casing. I'll do the same thing for the other side, and when I'm done doing that, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So after taking in the casing at the top, this is what we have. So I have openings on both sides where my fabric strap will be passing through, and it will come out at the center point. So the next thing we want to do now is to join the lower part and the upper part together. So the first thing to do is to note what you have as the length of the lower part. So for me, I have about 22 inches. So right now I'm going to form gathers on the upper part, the lower part of the upper fabric to 22 inches. I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch it all the way down using a loose tension. I'll form a loose stitch there and then I'll pull the thread till I gather the fabric to form 22 inches. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So when I'm done doing that, I'll confirm it and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. So after forming my gathers on the lower part of my top, this is what I have. So I make sure the length I have there is equal to the length on the lower part. So the next thing to do is to join them together. So I'll fold this lower part into two to get the center point, and then I'll form a notch there. So I'm going to place it this way. So notice that this is the lower part of our top and this is the point I'll be joining to the upper part. So I'll match the center points, right sides facing each other, then I'll use my pin to secure it together. And then I'll take my lining at the lower part and then use it to cover up the fabrics. I'll use it to cover it up. This is what I was trying to explain earlier with the lining I was joining. So I'll just join it together this way, and then I'll stitch it all the way down. I'll stitch the three fabrics together all the way down. This is just to give it a neat inseam finishing. So I'll stitch it all the way down carefully. So when I'm done stitching, I'll show you guys how to turn it over. So after stitching it down, this is what I have. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to the right side. Let's go ahead and flip it over to the right side this way. So after flipping over, this is what it looks like on the right side, and this is what it looks like on the wrong side. So the next thing to do is to join the front panel and the back panel together. So I'm going to go ahead and match it carefully this way, starting with the waist line. So I'm going to use my pin now to secure this point together, and then I'll go over to the armhole point and also match it together this way. So I also repeat the same thing for the other side, right sides facing each other. So after doing that, I'll take it to my sewing machine now and stitch it using our 1.5 inches seam allowance that we took out while drafting on our paper. So when I'm done doing that, I'll show you guys. So after joining the front and the back panels together, this is what we have. This is what it looks like. You can see our top is coming out beautiful already. So I also went ahead to fixing the zip for the back panel, and this is what it looks like. So the next thing we want to do now is to pass in our fabric strap at the top. So I'm going to be making use of bias strip here. I went ahead to fold it into two, then I attach it to my pin this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass it in through the opening at the armhole. I'll just pass it in and pull it till I get to the other opening. So I'll just push it in this way till it gets to the end of the strap. Then I'll take my pin and hold it down there. So I'll just take it to my sewing machine now and stitch it down there. So by the time we wear our top, this is what it's going to look like in front. You can see the effect of the drawstring. So I'll do the same thing for the other side, and when I'm done doing that, I'll show you guys. So after passing out the straps for both sides, this is what we have. So this is what it should look like when you're doing yours as well. So the next thing we want to do now is to cut out our sleeves and attach it to the top. So for our sleeves, I have this fabric I have cut out already, so I'm going to just fold it into two. So for the wideness of the sleeve, I have about 12 inches here on fold, and for the length, I have 12.5 inches. I'll be taking in 1 inch at the top for casing and 1 inch at the base for casing as well. So right now, I'm going to just take my top and place the back panel armhole at the open side of my fold. I'll make sure I leave 1 inch space at the top of my fabric this way, and I just go ahead and trace out the armhole on my fabric. I'll trace it out this way. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. So I'll be using this sleeve to cut out the second sleeve. I'll use this one to cut out the other one. So after cutting out, this is what we have. I'll just open it up now. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine. I'll fold in the top twice and stitch it down. I'll do the same thing for the lower part. I'll repeat it for the other sleeve and show you guys the next thing to do. So I folded in the upper part and the lower part just like I said earlier. So the next thing now is to insert our elastic band. So to get the amount of elastic band, I just divided what I have at the top by 2 and cut the elastic band out with that length. So I'm just going to take my pin now and pass it in through it. So I'm making use of 2 pins. This is just because I don't want to lose the other end of my elastic band. So I'll just go ahead now and pass it in through the casing. So after I'm done passing, I'll take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch it on this side before removing my pin. I'll stitch it down there and then I'll stitch it on the other side of the opening. I'll stitch it down there. So for the lower part, to get the amount of elastic band you'll be needing, just go ahead and wrap the elastic band around your wrist or wherever you want your sleeve to stop. So whatever length you have that is comfortable for you, you can cut it out at that point. So I'll pass it in at the lower part as well. Then I'll do the same thing for the other sleeves and I will close it up on this side. So when I'm done, I will show you. So after inserting our elastic band to the lower part and the upper part, this is what it looks like. So I also went ahead to close up the sides like I said earlier. So the next thing we want to do is to attach our sleeves to our top. So we'll be attaching it to the back part first before we attach to the front part. So go ahead and place your sleeve this way, right sides facing each other. Match the top points together for the back and then stitch it down. So when you get to the front part, the front armhole is bigger. So go ahead and gather the fabric in front while attaching to the sleeve till you get to the other point. So gather it together and attach it this way. So I'll do the same thing for the other sleeve and show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. So after attaching the sleeves to the top, this is how it came out. You can see how beautiful the top looks already. So I'll be forming pleats at the lower part of this top. So I'll show you guys how to do that now before we end the video. So I have my fabric cut out already. So to get the length of fabric you'll be needing, just go ahead and measure what you have around it and multiply it by 2. So for me, the breadth of this fabric, the wideness is 4 inches. So I'll just go ahead and place it this way, right sides facing each other. So while I'm joining it to the top, I'll just form small pleats on it as you can see me illustrating. So this is going to be the end of this video. So guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel and also share with your loved ones. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.